We'll have a lot of coverage today on our show. We've got the NFL game, Buccaneers and the Rams, and we'll get some of the Turkey Day games in for you, as well as we'll touch base on some college basketball. Remember, it's going to begin on Wednesday. But let's take a look here at our crew for today. We've got Joe D'Amico, service co-host. Rod Zawacki will join us, as will Kevin Thomas. Chris Ruffalo will serve as a co-host as well. Alan Enos in the house, and Brian Bittler, number 2 in college basketball, Brian, or college football, Brian?
Number 2 in college football, number 1 overall last 7 days, number 2 last 30 days.
Now he's on fire, this Mr. Brian Bittler, of course, getting ready for college basketball. We'll get to Brian in just a second. Let's go ahead and bring in our co-host. I'm joined by Chris Ruffalo and Joe D'Amico, and we're about ready to get underway, guys. As I said, our audience wants quick picks, and we're gonna be moving here in high gear. So let's go ahead and bring him in. Brian Bittler, you can find him over at Pig Dogs Premium. Brian, how you doing? I know I'm seeing the leaderboards up there, and I see a top past 7 days doing really good work.
Yeah, I tell you what, guys, if I get any hotter, the fire department might be here to hose me off. But you know what? I think I'm just getting started, and with college basketball around the corner, I am super excited. Just got to get past Tuesday.
Definitely got to get past this Tuesday. All right, you're going to be looking at some Turkey football here as the Lions will be facing the Texans. We're going to take a look here at this number. With the Detroit, the underdog, we got Houston -2.5. I'm seeing some threes pop up here, Brian. Total sits here at 51.5.
I'll tell you what, the Detroit Lions lost a lot of people some money. This last Sunday, I gave out the Panthers as a free pick. I just didn't have couldn't get sold on the Panthers with the and then you have Texans, who had a huge win for us yesterday, took out the Patriots. But like any good handicapper, I can love you one week and hate you the next. I'm going to be fading the Texans and be on the Lions because I feel like this is a must-win game for Matt Patricia. And, the Lions aren't out of it yet. They could run the table. You never know. And the Texans on the road after that big win against the Patriots at home. So for me, I'm going to take the points with the Lions at home in a must-win spot. I think you're getting value here. If you can, I think by the time it kicks off, I think it'll be close to a pick 'em.
All right, Brian Miller says take the Lions +2.5. Chris, what say you in this matchup?
Well, it's tradition Detroit football on Thanksgiving, and problem is Detroit hasn't been worth watching on Thanksgiving for some time now. And I looked at this game quite a bit today, and I'm still having a hard time with it because the problem is you don't know the status of some of these guys like DeAndre Swift, Kenny Golladay, Danny Amendola that all missed last game. I said before, the Lions struggle without Golladay in the lineup. I think they're still winless whenever he sits out a game. So I think I'm going to have to look at player status as soon as it becomes available. But if they're all going, I'm with Brian here. I like the Detroit Lions, but I think that's going to be to be determined for me for right now.
Joe, Lions traditional on Thanksgiving. Your thoughts here?
Absolutely. Turkey stuffing, opening up my pants and watching the Detroit Lions on football. I got bit in the ass, if I could say it that way. I got bit in the ass with the Lions this past weekend. And without checking injury reports and knowing anything right now, I will tell you, though, off the top of my head, judging from the last two from the performances from these two combatants, I have to agree with Brian. The Lions have to come back, and they do have a chance in this postseason. They just got to get their foot on the gas. And I do see the team coming down. They came with a big win, a big emotional win. Now they're coming on a short week, and they have to play on Thanksgiving. This is old hat for the Lions. This is new hat for Houston. So I will tell you that just off the cuff, without doing any research, I have to agree with Brian. I got to take those points.
All right, take the points. All right, Brian here on our show, the drive-through leading us off. What do you have going on over at Pig Dogs Premium?
I'll tell you what, guys, 10-3, last 13 NFL, 77% winners. I got my NFL Monday night money shot. Give your wallet a money shot. Pick up my NFL play. Red hot, number 1 handicapper last 7 days. And if you don't want my NFL play tonight, lock in right now. College basketball hoops just around the corner. Get my season pass, $4.95. Lock in now at a bargain basement price.
That's right, guys. Check him out. Brian Bittler over at Pig Dogs Premium. You see the numbers here. College football, number 2, past 7 days, top of the leaderboards. Why not pick up one of those long-term packages right now? Those 30-day all-sports pass will get you all of Brian's plays, NFL, college football, and college basketball in play. So get on board right now from a winner. That's Brian Bittler. All right, Brian, as always, great having you on the show. Have yourself a great night. and we will talk with you.
You guys
Friday.
enjoy the Thanksgiving. Always fun hanging out with my three favorite guys in handicapping. So you guys have a good holiday.
All right, good
Happy
holiday.
Thanksgiving to you and your family, Brian.
We will see you the day after Thanksgiving, my man. All right, our buddy Brian Bittler here on the show. Here, continue on the drive-through, guys. As I said, we're going to keep the picks moving. Let's chit-chat right to the picks. Let's bring in our man Joe D'Amico. Joe, you got an opinion here on Monday Night Football, Rams and Bucs with the Tampa Bay favorite.
Well, you know me, Tony. We've been friends a long time. I have an opinion on just about everything in this life, but I do have an opinion tonight. But Tony, Chris, another free winner on the Friday show. I gave out Oklahoma Sooners. They won easily on Saturday for everybody. My drive-through record on a 32-11 run on my free picks. Authors, if my free picks are hitting over 75%, what do my paid games do, guys? Here's another easy winner for you guys, keeping it short and sweet just like me. I think you're going to see the Rams in a big letdown spot here after last Sunday's 23-16 win over the Seahawks. Not only does the Bucs have the defense to shake up the LA offense, but it's very hard to go against Tom Terrific on Monday Night Football Spotlight. Oh, by the way, before Brady came to town, Tampa Bay took last year's meeting 55-40. They're a better offense now because of Tom. That's even more why you got to go with them tonight. The Rams are 6-13-1 the last 20 as an underdog, 3-7-1 the last 11 on Monday Night Football. And here's a small bonus, guys, because I love you guys and it's Thanksgiving week, and I want to give thanks to all you guys that support me every week by my plays here on Pick Dogs. The over in this game is 5-0. Excuse me, the over is 5-0 in the Rams last 5 versus the NFC. 5-0 in the Rams last 5 as an underdog. 14-3 in the Bucs last 17 versus the NFC, and 18-6 in the Bucs last 24 overall. Take Tampa and the over in a small 2-team teaser, guys. It'll get you the money. I promise you that. You'll start your week off with a big win.
All right, that's Joe D'Amico coming in strong here with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Chris, giving it to you here. Your thoughts on this Monday Night Football game?
Well, I think you can make a legitimate case for either side. I mean, for the Rams, well, Tom Brady has been spectacular in his career in prime time, especially on Monday nights. But we've also seen him show, and he still looks great for it, but we start to see him show his age a little bit this year, being 43 and, and having a couple mental lapses that, you didn't necessarily see from Tom Brady in his New England years. But on the other side, Tampa Bay's defense is extremely underrated as far as I'm concerned. It's one of the best defensive units in the NFL. And Jared Goff this season, when he's been under pressure, he's only completing 38.5% of his passes. So I think if you see a bit of an improved pass rush here from Tampa Bay, and they start to get through that Los Angeles offensive line, which is missing his left tackle, which is massive considering that's his blind side, that's going to be big tonight. And I think that Joe's got a very good point here with laying the points with Tampa Bay, because if they start to get to Goff and knock him from behind, this could be an ugly game for the Rams. And, I can definitely understand laying the points in this spot.
All right, laying the points. I may be looking to take the points, Joe. We may be butting heads on this one. I just think the
That's
Rams.
okay.
It's okay because we're not all in agreement all the time, right? But,
No.
it's very important that we kind of go back and forth a little bit on it. It went from 3 to 4.5. One thing we'll say about the Rams, their defense is good. I think that extra day of rest factors into it, as well as getting that bye week before the Seattle game. So I think you might have a little bit more focus. I think way to look at this next week is when I'll be looking to go against the Rams on that short week in a divisional game. See what the 49ers bring to the table, but that should be something really interesting. All right, Joe, as we began a quarter after the hour now here on our drive-through show, why don't you let everybody know what you have going on over at Pig Dogs Premium?
Well, Tony, as a multi-time college basketball handicapping champion, I've spent the last 2 months nonstop making sure all my contacts, sources, and pipelines are set so I can have the best college hoops campaign I ever had. Right now, I have the entire season at a 50% off discount over at Pick Dogs. From Wednesday's opening tip-off through the final seconds of the national title game in April, every winner I have, you have, for just $3.75, comes to $2.50 a day. You can't even get a beer for $2. You can't get a lap dance for $2.50 a day. And well, unless you're on Boulder Highway, you don't want those lap dances. But guys, listen to me. For $375, which literally, depending on the player you are, I can make you that in a day, a few days, or even in less than a week, and you've got me through the beginning of April. You will have the best college basketball season you ever dreamed of. Get my college basketball 50% off discount over at Pick Dogs, and I promise you this. By April, you'll love me. By May and June, your wife and girlfriend or husband and boyfriend will love me. And your next kid, and it's going to come right after that because you're going to have a lot of money, you're going to name Joey D'Amico. I promise you that.
That's right, guys. Get on board right now. Joe D'Amico, his premium plays or Pig Dogs premium. Why not get that long-term pass, 7 or 30-day pass right now? Get all of Joe's plays, NFL, college football. You get that 30-day pass. And we got college basketball for 30 days, or you get the 7 days. You'll get a sample here of Joe's college basketball for 7 days that begin here on Wednesday. All right, everybody, Joe D'Amico here on the drive-through. Join us as we continue on with Chris Ruffalo and Joe D'Amico. Let's bring in Kevin Thomas. You'll find him over at Pig Dogs Premium. We'll go ahead and chime in. He'll have another Turkey Day game to talk about. And let's see if we got him here. Here we go. Welcome to the show, Kevin Thomas. How you doing today? Like the hat.
Hey, how you guys doing as usual? Thanks for having me.
I like how the hat nearly covers the eyes. This must be before your time. There was a famous guy, Chuck Barris. I know I'm aging myself here. He used to wear that. You remember the Gong Show, right? He used to wear his hat. Right? That's a great look. I used to love it. All right, Kevin. I've seen you up about leaderboards. Things have been going well for you. I know you'll be looking at this game here. Between the Ravens and Steelers here. Steelers now up to about 4.5 point favorite, total 45.
Yeah, that line, we might actually get some more on that line too. Now that Dobbins has been ruled out, Ingram is ruled out, and they still haven't even finished the tracing yet of who came in contact with any of those guys. So I might be willing to bet that this game might not even get played. I mean, is it even in the Ravens' best interest to go out there half-assed and try to win this one, because they're in a must-win situation too. I mean, they're fighting just for that. They're pretty much not going to win that division, but just to get a playoff spot, they need wins, and it starts Thanksgiving. Between the last 5 games between these two, the road team actually has won 4 of the last 5. The Steelers haven't been great against the run. We all know Baltimore wants to run it, needs to run it, but for this game, they're going to have to get someone catching the ball. I think Marquise Brown, as long as he don't have covered, they need to get the ball in his hands. And if they do, I think the defense can step up and they will cover the spread. I actually will take them to win outright because it is a must-win. And I actually thought the Steelers would lose against the Cowboys. I had the Cowboys; they covered that one, but I was looking for a letdown, and I don't think the Steelers can go undefeated. They're going to have a letdown game. This wouldn't be a letdown in my eyes, but I could see this being a loss.
All right, there was your battle. Kevin Thomas are taking the underdog Baltimore Ravens, even looking at the money line in this one. Chris, what say you here in this divisional battle? Of course, Ravens going down to Tennessee. It's a short week here to face Pittsburgh.
You know, I thought yesterday was going to be a letdown as well, playing Jacksonville, and just didn't shake out that way. Damn you, Jake Luton. But that's besides the point. I mean, you look at this game. Now. I mean, I'm 100% with Kevin on this one. It almost seems like, I would say, even up to a touchdown, they're begging you to take Pittsburgh, because Baltimore hasn't been as effective as they were last season. We've clearly seen that Lamar Jackson hasn't been the same quarterback. I think teams are starting to figure him out and figure out that he just likes to run around and, you know, try to move the ball with his feet instead of trying to use his arm and make the big plays downfield. But also that this is always a game that Baltimore seems to get up for. I mean, these two teams do not like each other. This is a must-win spot for the Ravens after losing to New England a couple weeks ago and then losing to Tennessee yesterday. I mean, it was the same old song and dance from what we saw in the playoffs last year. And, you know, I think that Baltimore needs to get that bad taste out of their mouth. They want to be considered a legitimate team still in the playoff race. And how do you do that? You knock off the only undefeated team left in the NFL right now. So I'm with Kevin. I think this is, at worst, I think this is a field goal game, if not an outright Baltimore victory.
All right, yeah, I'm kind of leaning that way too, because if you're an undefeated, Joe D'Amico, if you're an undefeated Steelers team, you're on a short week, you're at home for Thanksgiving, there's a lot of distraction there around the family. For the undefeated team, you definitely look at the Ravens side as a team, definitely a lot more to play for here in this situation.
Absolutely, and I agree with everybody. And just as you were saying that, I want to play devil's advocate, though. This is a game that I don't think the Steelers can lose, can afford to lose, because they might be seeing this team down the road again in the playoffs. They don't know, and the Ravens do play them tough. They hate each other. These two teams, doesn't matter where they play in each other's stadiums. They hate each other, whether they played in on a Pop Warner field. And they are very, very close games. But I'm going to play devil's advocate because I agree with everything Kevin said. I agree with everything Chris said. I agree with everything you said. But I want to play devil's advocate just so we all don't agree. I don't think the Steelers can afford to lose this game just in case they have to face this Ravens team down the road. I think so, a lot of things that Kevin said are true. Even when Chris said teams are starting to figure out Lamar Jackson. And I think we could all say that some of the elite teams we expected, the Niners, the Chiefs, and the Ravens, and I'm not saying about the Chiefs' win-loss record. These teams are beatable, and I think that that the Steelers, knowing that the Ravens maybe are on the ropes a little bit here, if they could get a little leg up on them mentally right now, it'll pay a lot down the road. So Kevin, Chris, Tony, I'm going to play devil's advocate and say I like the Steelers in this one.
All right, Joe Migo saying looking at the Steelers. That was okay. We want to get an honest opinion from everybody. They're not always going to agree on all the plays. So looking to hear at that site there.
Hey, I also like the fact that the Ravens are going to have one running back. They're not going to be feeding Ingram and Dobbins. It's going to be Gus Edwards, who put up 136 yards against the Steelers team last year in that win. I think the three-headed committee is sometimes hurts them a little bit. I think that bodes well for them also in this game also. Unless he ends up with COVID, then.
And then it's down to the taxi squad. Then it's going to be taxi squad. Spread them out, guys. Spread them out. We're going to be throwing. That's something to think about here on this on the primetime game, 8:20 Ravens and the Steelers. All right, Kevin. We've seen you. You've been doing well up at Pig Dog. We've seen you at the top of leaderboards here over the weekend. Why don't you let everybody know what you have going on over at Pig Dogs Premium?
Well, you can still get my Monday night game, and as always, I push the 7-day packages because then you get to know me a little better. You got the college basketball starting up. It'd be foolish to start anything tomorrow. We have nothing going on tomorrow, so Wednesday would be a great day to jump on a 3-day, 7-day, because then you'll lock in all the football, college football action, college basketball action, and then go for a 30-day after that. 8-2, 4-1 college, 4-1 NFL. Going to win tonight too, so lock in 7-day package.
That's right, guys. Go ahead and lock in a nice 7-day pass right there from Kevin Thomas over at Pig Dogs Premium. All of his plays would be NFL, college football, get all the feast week, they call it, right? This is feast week from Thanksgiving, so check it out. And, of course, college basketball will begin on Wednesday with a lot of games. And it's a big weekend of college basketball, a lot of big matchups, so be sure to get on board with Kevin Thomas. He'll get you in the winner's circle. All right, Kevin, as always, great having your show. Have yourself a great night. We'll be back next week.
Too, and have a good Thanksgiving. I'll see you next week. Thank you.
Happy Thanksgiving to Kevin Thomas. All right, here on the drive-through, welcoming Chris Ruffalo, and we'll get to Joe D'Amico here. There he is. Joe D'Amico is always looking good on the show. All right, Chris, we're into college basketball season on Wednesday, right? And it's time to do our work, right? We're going through all our preseason magazines. We're looking at some of the power ratings out there. We're trying to follow the COVID news and whatnot, and trying to find out who's got who's coming back, who's not, coaching changes and whatnot. But you're going to fill us in on the Pac-12 this season.
Yeah, and you know what? We were talking about it. What was it? A few days ago, maybe last week. We were saying, what conferences do we like to talk about? What conferences do we like to watch and cover? And what our favorites are overall? And I didn't really have an answer at the time. But then thinking about it over the weekend, I'm like, what am I thinking about? I love staying up late on Saturday night watching some of these Pac-12 teams go at it. And you know what? We were doing a little bit of digging, and I found some value with a couple of these teams that I like right off the bat. And we're going to obviously have this change further on down the road as the season progresses, and as teams deal with COVID, as teams come back from COVID, as matchups are changing all the time. We just had a game with Baylor and Arizona State. We lost that for Wednesday, but you know what? We still had a ton of basketball coming up. I think the team that I'm looking for the most out of this season is going to be Oregon. Dana Altman, it never seems like he doesn't have an embarrassment of riches in Eugene, and it's been no different this season. I mean, you look, we always talk about the super teams in the NBA, and I think that Oregon's got a super team coming around in the Pac-12 this season. They're bringing back guys like Will Richardson and Chris Duarte. They've got a 6'11" sophomore at the center in Valley Dante. They're bringing in Eric Williams from Duquesne, who's 14 points per game last year. Eugenio Marui from Rutgers, who put up almost 14 the game last year. Amori Hardy from UNLV put up 14.5. He's probably going to ease into one of the guard spots and maybe be a sixth man off the bench. But a guy I really want everyone to watch out for it. If you watch St. John's basketball, you know exactly who I'm talking about. LJ Figueroa. Think of a poor man's Obi Toppin. This guy can fly. This guy can get above the rim. He can be a guy that puts up 16 to 18 points a game. Guys, this Oregon team is stacked from top to bottom. I can easily see them winning the Pac-12, at least the regular season title, and probably the conference tournament. But I think we're getting great value on them. I'm seeing plus 435. If anybody's interested in futures, I think Oregon to win the Pac-12 regular season is going to be a great bet for you. Make almost 4.5 times your money. But I'm looking at some of the other teams. I'm not understanding the hype with UCLA. I think Mick Cronin's going to coach this team out of a few more wins again this season. I can just see it being another disappointing year for the Bruins. I'm looking at Arizona State. I think Remy Martin has potential to be player of the year for that team. I think Washington is going to be a lot better than what we saw last year. At 3 double-digit scores in the lineup. They got Eric Stevenson transferring over from Wichita State. And a team that I think we're going to expect to see a lot of big things from this year that's going to step up. I'd like Cal to do some damage this year. They finished pretty bad last year. I think they were 2-16 in conference play. But this is a team that's bringing back 3 double digits. They're going to have 3 double-digit scores in their lineup from last year. Matt Bradley returns. You got Ryan Bentley transferring over from Penn. Mikhail Foreman from Stony Brook. This is a Cal team that can also play great defense, and I think that they're going to be a team to watch. But, guys, I'm telling you, Oregon is the team to watch in the Pac-12 this season.
All right, Oregon is a team to watch. It's Chris Ruffalo here. And what's your thoughts here on these? When the teams go into Oregon, when the teams go into Colorado and Utah, it's always something to look at when you get into those Pac-12 teams in the high elevation.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we've seen it in the pros. I mean, how many guys are sitting on the sidelines of Empower Field at Mile High for when they're playing the Broncos and are just sitting there with an oxygen tank on while they're on the sidelines. It's tough to play in the altitude, and that's not a secret. And I think that we're starting to see that these guys are getting, I don't want to say trained, but they're getting their bodies prepared for this kind of travel, especially when you're in the Pac-12 and that a trip to Colorado is going to happen. It's easier to sort of not have to deal with that if you're playing in like the ACC or the Big Ten or somewhere where a date with Colorado is something that your school is going to schedule and you'll know well in advance, and it's only going to be one time every couple of years, if that. Pac-12, you're playing there at least once a year, if not twice, based on if you have to do a reschedule or something. So these guys in the Pac-12 know that the trip to Colorado and Utah is coming, and I think that's something that they get their bodies prepared for early enough in the season, and it's something that you kind of circle on the schedule, like, okay, well, this is coming up. I got to be ready for this. But you know what? When it's road games like that, it's really not that much of a secret as to why Utah and Colorado do so well at home, and then not necessarily the greatest on the road. I think the environment in itself is a home field advantage, for the lack of a better term. I mean, we're stating the obvious here, but I think I do think that teams are starting to figure out how to combat that, and they're getting better at it. And it's just how the game's progressing and how teams are starting to figure it out.
Yeah, no question. Of course, Joe, the odds makers all know about this, but sometimes there's so many games going on that sometimes you see some soft numbers when you get Colorado and Utah at home, especially early on in the season. That's something I like to, because you've got a lot of, we don't have NBA now, but when NBA starts overlapping, of course, you got football, the bowl games and whatnot at that period of time. Sometimes you can sneak in and get some wins with those Colorado and Utah teams at home in college basketball.
Oh, absolutely, Tony, Chris. Particularly in the beginning of the year, a lot of, and particularly with what's been going on with the safety precautions and guidelines, we're not seeing practices and scrimmages on ESPN or your favorite sports channels. We're not seeing updates on these teams like we normally do, over the years, because this year, obviously, everybody's because of these safety precautions. And I think that I think that there will be opportunities, not just in the first few days or the first few weeks, but throughout the first month or so, that you're going to see some lines that are way off, that you've got guys like myself, Chris, and some of the other professionals here on Pick Dogs, that we take advantage. While most people are sleeping, while farmers are asleep, let me put it that way, guys like me and Chris are up all night, and we're doing our due diligence. We're making our phone calls. We're talking to our contacts. We're making sure people are injured. We're making sure lines are right. And if they're not right, why aren't they right? And should we take advantage of them? And that's what we're doing. And the fact of the matter is, Tony, you are 100% correct. We saw it at the beginning of college football, we saw some teams, first of all, have a little bit of rust because of the layoff, but we saw some teams that came out as some of these heavier favorites, and not only were the dogs covering, they were winning outright. And we're talking with some top 25 teams. So you've got to look at that, especially right now in the first several weeks and maybe even the month of this college basketball season. I believe there are going to be some things that we can take advantage, and not just 1 or 2 a week. I think there's going to be almost daily we can take advantage on the college basketball card and beat those odds makers.
You certainly can. All right, that's Joe D'Amico joined with Chris Ruffalo. Chris, give us his Pac-12 overview for this season. Now, Chris, hit the bottom of the hour. What do you have going on over at Pig Dogs Premium?
Well, guys, I'm not normally one of those ones that throw out the name games, like, my game of the month and, my game of the year and, all this kind of stuff. But, I have my Monday maxed out play tonight. I have a side up on the website. I have a total up on the website. These are two of the plays I think I felt the most confident about in any of my NFL plays this season. I have each of those up for $25 over at the website. Those are going to put some money in your pocket tonight. Like Kevin Thomas mentioned, we got no sports tomorrow. We got no games. But you know what? That's fine because we're gonna be previewing college basketball on the morning show tomorrow. Probably do some of that here as well. And going into Wednesday, we always talk about it. I'm gonna have a package up. We'll also hop on one of those 3-day, 7-day, or 30-day packages. The longer you go, obviously, the cheaper that it's going to be per day, and it's going to give you the most bang for your buck. It's going to give you the most value. You look at some of the picks that we put out there, $30, $40, $50 for a package. For an extra, $20, you can have 3 days worth of picks all at your fingertips. So those are going to be the best value for you. And I'm also going to have my college basketball lined up. $379 over at the website. You can't go wrong for a season's worth of picks, and we're going to put you some winners.
That's right. Chris will get you some winners, guys. That 30-day all sports pass, all of Chris's plays, NFL, college football, and college basketball. So be sure to get on board. And NBA is just a month away, right? Because we're already in November 23rd. So we'll be keeping tabs on that league as well, guys. Just can't wait. We're getting into a really busy season. Now's the time to get in one of those long-term passes. All right, that was our buddy Chris Ruffalo here on the drive-through. As we continue our coverage, we're going to go and bring in Rod Zawacki. Now, you can listen to Rod and watch him on the morning show with the Mitch and Company at 10 a.m. Eastern time. Rod Zawacki, how you doing? And, of course, the Dolphins took on the chin yesterday.
They did, and if you watch the morning show, I believe I told you that. I said take Broncos in the points. This was a big letdown spot. You can't win them all. Can't keep winning every single one.
No, had a pretty good defensive.
They could try, but
yep, they had a good defensive.
And you knew it was coming. You could see it.
Yep, you saw it coming. And, of course, good defensive game plan by Denver here to shut down that Miami offense. All right, Rod Zawacki, you're going to be taking a look in here at this Washington football team and Dallas Cowboys. Hey, these are contenders in the NFC East. How do you see this one?
I know, right? We got a couple good contenders here in the NFC East there. I look at this one. These two teams have already played once this year. And Washington handed the Dallas Cowboys a nice 25-3 loss. So I look at this one here, and the early movement that I'm seeing the public jumping all over Dallas, like they think Dallas is going to get a revenge spot and come back and win the second game. I look digger into these numbers, and I look at this Washington defense, and this Washington defense is just going to shut Dallas down. Number one against the pass. It's going to be tough to pass. They'll shut down the run. Biggest thing is if you look, Dallas's offense, 31st ranked against turning the ball over. I think this Washington defense is going to cause some turnovers, and Dallas is going to have a really bad day here on Thanksgiving. Take Washington money line as they beat Dallas here on Thanksgiving.
All right, money line here from Rod Zawacki. Money line here at plus 135. Chris, what say you here with this Washington football team? Definitely with a better defense.
Absolutely. I think you're going to see the Dallas Cowboys in their turkey stupor here. They're going to be half asleep on the field because you know what? This is still a team that's going to be without Dak Prescott. And when you're without Dak Prescott, you're without much of an offense. I mean, you look at what happened with Andy Dalton. Before he was injured, he had those 2 games. They scored a combined 10 points, the Dallas Cowboys did, and I don't see that changing much. Sure, they had a good game this past week, but against a Washington team that, we look at that division, every team has 3 wins coming into this week. And the fact of the matter is that the division is as wide open with a 3-7 team through 10 weeks. How is that possible? Oh, right. It's the NFC least. I have no faith in this division once the postseason comes around. But as a matter of as far as getting there goes, I think Washington's the team to look at because Alex Smith just seems like he's resurrected his career. He looks like he's finally healthy. He's making the throws he needs to make. I like that pass rush and that linebacking group against Andy Dalton, Ben DiNucci, Garrett Cooper, whatever the hell, whoever's throwing the ball for Dallas. I like Washington against them. I don't see any hope for the Cowboys here. I'm with Rod. I like Washington on the money line. I think you could do an inverse line -2.5. Get some extra plus money.
Yeah, Washington definitely has my support here. Alex Smith, definitely seen the path open up for him to get back in the league here with the quarterbacks failing there in Washington. Now, how do you see this one, Joe?
I'll be honest with you. I think Dallas, if they were going to do anything, I think yesterday was their Super Bowl. I think they came out, they played above themselves against a better team. They put up a fight, and now it's letdown time again. I think they come back down to earth. Every once in a while, you get a fighter that fights another fighter, throws a great punch, and got him on the ropes. I think Dallas took their shot yesterday, and that's it. I don't think I see this team. And even if Dak Prescott was coming back, I still wouldn't side with Dallas here because the defense is just so bad. Washington, Chris mentioned Alex Smith has resurrected his career. And, the guy was always a decent quarterback. He was always a good backup, a decent quarterback. He came in. He's a smart guy. He makes very few mistakes, but their defense is playing so good. I like Rod's pick here a lot. And I'll tell you right now, I do think he's right on the money line. Just take him. Dallas is just horrible. Washington is on the rise, and as Chris said, this is a division that is up for grabs. 10 weeks in the season, each team with 3 wins, and you still don't know who's going to win. But Washington's probably the one team that is on the upswing right now. While I think it would say the Giants, I think it would say Cowboys are done, and even Philly, who goes up and down and up and down. I think Washington's actually the only one of the 4 teams in that division you could say is actually on the rise. So I would definitely like them here in the spotlight and beating America's old team, Dallas Cowboys, straight up. Forget about the points.
All right, all here on the Washington bandwagon. All right, Rod Zawacki over at Pig Dogs Premium. What do you have going on?
I still got my Monday Night Football book smasher. I got the side winner on tonight's Monday Night Football. You can grab that over at the website for $25, or if you want, like I said, we got college basketball starting Wednesday. I got a college basketball season pass up there. Get you right on through all the way to April. We crown a winner.
All right, guys, get on board right with the Rod Zawacki over at Pig Dogs Premium. One of those long-term passes, 30 days will get you all of Rod's plays, NFL, college football, college basketball for 30 days over at Pig Dogs Premium. All right, Rod, as always, great having your show. Have a great night. We'll be listening for you in the morning on the morning show.
You guys have yourself a wonderful night, and looking forward to that morning show. College.
All right, we'll listen for Rod Zawacki there. All right, back here on the drive-thru with Chris Ruffalo and Joe D'Amico. It's time to bring in our buddy Al Ninos. You'll find him over at Pig Dogs Premium. Al, how are things going?
Well, 1 yard away from a 4-0 day on Saturday, but not so well yesterday.
Well, that's what happens, right? That's the NFL for you. It can be tough.
It does.
It does. All right.
But looking to bounce back next week and starting actually tonight.
Al helped to get us through some of the periods here where there was no midweek action with a lot of the soccer action. But we know now we're getting a basketball season. He'll be delivering a lot of college basketball picks, and in a month from now it'll be NBA. But now we got a soccer play going on here with Man U. Why don't you let us know about it?
Yeah, they're hosting Istanbul Başakşehir. After beating West Brom 1-0, I thought I had that name down before the show. Sorry, guys. In the Premier League on Saturday, so we'll just stick to calling them Istanbul for the rest of the show. They're coming off a 1-0 loss to Beşiktaş in the Turkish league. Also playing on Saturday, so both teams have had a couple days to rest now, but they are both dealing with some injuries. Manchester United lost this matchup actually in Istanbul 2-1. They went down 2-0 early, then tried to fight back, but it was too little too late. I do see them coming out and trying to make a statement with this one and in this rematch at home. I also think that they won't want to just sit back and defend if they just have a 1-goal lead. They'll want to use all that talent they have on offense with Cavani, Fernandes, and Rashford to try to get an extra goal, so an insurance goal or two. So again, at home, they're the better, more talented team. And as I said, I think they're just way too talented for Istanbul to upset them twice, especially on the road this time. So I'm laying the goal and a half here with Man United. And yeah, as I said, I think they'll win by at least 2 goals here. So
all right,
laying the goal and a half.
Alninos and Man U. What say you here, Chris?
Yeah, I think the only thing that scares me here is, like Al said, we've already seen Istanbul beat Manchester United as plus 3,500 underdogs. So, do United want revenge? Absolutely. But do they also want to, do well in the league and maybe rest some guys in a winnable spot they can probably get away with, not fielding their strongest 11? I think that they try to do that here as well. I could easily see, I could see where Al's coming from with a 2-0 win here, but I could also see United doing exactly what he said that they wouldn't do, and scoring one and then just kind of nursing that the rest of the way. So this isn't a game I'm touching just because the juice is so heavy, and with so many injuries in the 2 lineups, I think it's just a hard game to call. But I can understand the -1.5 to try to get some value out of United.
All right, we got an agreement there from Chris Ruffalo. All right, Al, as we're approaching the top of the hour, why don't you let everybody know what you have going on over at Pig Dogs Premium?
I said I have my play on the Monday Night Football. Got 3 other games lined up for tomorrow in the Champions League on the premium side if you want to check those out. I think they're really solid plays. This one, again, isn't a premium play because, as Chris mentioned, it is a little bit too juicy. If it drops to -1 for any reason, it might make it as a premium play too. But that extra goal just makes me stay off it, at least on the premium side. I personally played this myself, but again, not quite a premium play unless it drops to -1. And yeah, looking forward to some college basketball coming up. I heard the NHL starting on the 1st of January, and yeah, NBA is around the corner, as we said. So looking forward to all that and more football as well.
That's right. More football, no doubt about that. All right, guys, check out Al Nino's over at Pig Dogs Premium. Why not pick up one of those long-term passes from Al? All right, Al, as always, great having your show. Have yourself a great night, and we'll talk with you tomorrow.
All right, we'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a good one, guys.
All right, everybody. Al Nino's here on the drive-thru. All right, guys, we'll continue on. And, well, it's time for my free pick for today. And guess what? I have the honors of giving the first college basketball pick on the show. All right. I did some research. I've been doing my homework. And I like, for Wednesday, I like South Dakota Jackrabbits at +12. Now, South Dakota State is a team. Experienced team returning all 5 starters from a 22-win team from last year as they tied for the regular season Summit Championship. They're so deep, they're even looking to redshirt one of their top recruits, which is very rare in this conference or any conference this level, even a mid-major, to do that. A good sign is there's depth off the bench to do that. They were the 3rd best 2-point shooting team of all college basketball last year. They did a very good job making the threes. Good at defending the 3 as well. Now, West Virginia, they pride themselves on defense. But will the Mountaineers have the conditioning to play this style this early in a COVID-impacted season? Seven of the West Virginia's Big 12 losses came on the road last year. They finished 9-9 in conference. Now, West Virginia, near the bottom of college basketball, shooting threes and free throws. Offensively, a high turnover team. They lost 6 of 9 closing out the regular season. So my play here will be South Dakota State at +12. All right, Chris, any thoughts on college basketball on this game? Or there's a lot to look at. I wouldn't think you'd put much work into this one yet.
Well, if Joe D'Amico's screen was any sign, the dogs are going to be out for this one, and I think that you're 100% correct, Tony. I mean, you look at West Virginia, even with a healthy lineup in a non-COVID year, the Mountaineers weren't a team that just blows teams out of the water. They play defense first, like they always have under Bob Huggins, and they suffocate their opponents. They don't blow them out. This is a team that they'll be favored by 13. They'll win 60-51. or they'll win, 64-56. They'll hold the team down, but they won't blow them out of the water. And I think that's what you have here with South Dakota State. Doug Wilson back. I still go back to the Mike Daum days where he was averaging 25 and 12 a game. But, we still have Doug Wilson here who's filling in nicely. Matt Dentlinger. I think the South Dakota State Jackrabbits are the team to watch in the Summit League. I think they're going to repeat as regular season champions. And I'm going to do you one better. I think South Dakota State wins this on the money line. I think this is a game. I think this is we're going to see 66-64 South Dakota State. I think West Virginia comes out flat in their first game. This is somewhat of a home game for South Dakota because I believe this game is in South Dakota, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, it is.
So home court, somewhat of a home court advantage. I think South Dakota can take this one. So I'll go South Dakota State on the money line.
I vote here on South Dakota State. All right, Joe. What conference do you look at in college basketball, Joe?
God, I love them all. I make money in all of them. I love them all. I've always done well in the Big East. I've always done well in the Pac. And I like the smaller conferences as well. I think there's a lot of money to be made with them. And just because they're not on primetime television or because they're not the Gonzagas or the Ohio States or the Georgetowns, a lot of these smaller conferences are overlooked. I love them. I think there's money made in every conference. I just think you have to, because you have games every day. And this is why I love basketball, gentlemen, and sports fans out there. 99% of your games in football predominantly Saturday and Sunday. So, we put up games, we do games, and then you're done for another 5 days, really. And I will be honest with you, in college basketball, you could find gold in the hill every single day. There's a gem you could uncover, and wow, there's something almost every day. There, you can make money every day in college basketball, and we do a lot of the time. I'm not going to say I make money every single day, but there's an opportunity to make money 7 days a week, and it is wonderful. And that's why I love college basketball. I look at all the conferences, Tony. I don't discriminate what shape my ball is, and I don't discriminate where it comes from. As long as I'm making money, I'm happy with it. And I do agree with you. There's a lot of points to be given for a West Virginia team that is a defensive-oriented team always. And playing the opening game of the season, I think is going to be a tough situation. I think San Diego State will come out up. West Virginia maybe take the game a little lightly. I think they're going to win the game. I don't know about the money line. I think Chris is a little more daring than I am there. But I certainly think taking 12 points looking at this game is a smart move. And, Tony, you're a smart guy, so I agree with you.
All right. We got Grimmy there with South Dakota State plus the 12 against West Virginia. This will be on TV on ESPN, too. All right, guys, this is the drive-through Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern time, so be sure to tune in. Of course, it all gets started in the morning with Mitch and company with the morning show at 10 a.m. Eastern time. All right, let's go ahead, guys, and recap the plays from today's show. We start out with Brian Bittler with the picks. It was Brian saying take Detroit Lions plus 2.5 against Houston Texans. Joe D'Amico on the Buccaneers, Monday Night Football. Someone was asking about Monday Night Football. Here we go. It's Joe D'Amico. We always recap the plays, guys, so never forget. If you ever miss a pick during the show, you sign in late, we always recap them. Joe D'Amico take Tampa Bay Buccaneers minus 4.5 against the LA Rams. Kevin Thomas take Baltimore Ravens plus the 4.5 against Pittsburgh Steelers. Rod Zawacki on the Washington Football Team, the money line plus 135 against Dallas Cowboys. L going to some soccer here, international soccer. Manchester United plus 135 against Istanbul Basaksehir. And yours truly, college basketball. This one gets a power rating line. South Dakota State plus the 12 against West Virginia. All right, Chris, I'll ask you, other than your play, which one do you like the best?
Well, I'm not even going to try to say the word that follows Istanbul there because I might end up swearing in another language. And just to make sure everybody knows, I think that's Manchester United minus 1.5 at plus 135.
That's
right.
So
I just want, if I can find Manchester United money line at plus 135, God help me take my money. I think I'll take South Dakota. I'll be with you, Tony. I like South Dakota State plus 12. You guys know I like the money line as well, so I'll take South Dakota State Jackrabbits.
All right, so play there. Okay, Joe. Other than your pick, which one do you like the best?
Well, this really stood out to me as I looked at games today. Just a cursory overview of looking at games. I'm going to go with that wacky Roddy Zawacki. And I'm going to take the Washington Football Team on the money line. I think I think they came out. I think whatever shot that they had or they played above themselves yesterday, I think Washington has a better team, a better quarterback, a good defense, and I think they're on the rise. I think they're probably going to take that division. I think they crushed Dallas in this game. I think they beat them bad, actually.
All right, you got my vote there too with the Washington football team with Rod Zawacki at the money line there against the Dallas Cowboys. All right, that was our drive-through show, guys. Tune in tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern time. A lot more picks. We'll have a lot of picks on the show. A lot of college basketball coming up for Wednesday's action as well. All right, let's go ahead and bring in the crew from today's show. And we got Rod Zawacki's play first half plus 160 there. If you check that out on this is Rod's Birdcage page. Don't need the hyphen there after the M, by the way, my man. All right, we'll give a little wave goodbye to everyone for today, and be sure to tune in tomorrow.